What's up? Alright guys, I'm getting anxious about making some videos and putting some content out there, so I thought that since I can't do right now like too many build-alongs or anything, that I would show you guys a few slingshots that I bought real cheap on Amazon and kind of give you a rundown on them, what I think about them, and whether or not I think they're worth the money that I paid for them. So I bought a bunch of these cheapies, and you can see I had to do some of them up a little bit different. So I'll put links in the description to these, but I bought them on Amazon. They're super cheap. I bought all of the ones that I bought come in pairs, and this one came with one that's like this and one that's red instead of blue. They're basically the same thing. And yeah, I can do a quick little review on these. So basically, any of these slingshots I'm about to show you, they're not what I would consider like, you know, high end by any means, but they do the job. And honestly, they're not that bad for how much I paid for these. I can't remember exactly the prices, but again, there's links in the description, so you guys can go check them out if you want to pick some up. This particular one should have come with clips, and normally I would have just put the clips on, but the pair only came with 3 clips, and for some reason it was weird. And then one of my daughters wanted the other one of these, so I clipped that one for her, and this one didn't have enough clips, so I just looped them around the hole for the bolt there, and then I tied them off, and now it still shoots pretty good. This one I shoot with a pinch grip, so you guys can see like that, like a pinch grip. Put it in my other hand, and I have great big hands. I can actually touch my fingers together, but it's still pretty comfortable to shoot. They're not bad at all. Came with a bunch of these bands and these tiny little pouches, so maybe for like shooting 1/4 inch steel or something. But they all also came with a bunch of clay ammo that is actually not bad to shoot with these at all. Although they are a little light. I like shooting the 1/4 inch steel, which I actually have a bunch of right here. Oh, you guys can see that, but yeah, basically a 1/4 inch steel would shoot great out of these. As a matter of fact, I'll send one downrange right now. Yeah, no hand slap or anything. They're actually really nice for 1/4 inch. I don't know what brand of bands these are. Each slingshot that I bought came with at least 2 or 3 band sets each, with these tiny little pouches on them. And as far as the quality goes, I would give this pair probably an 8 out of 10. These are actual metal. These are plastic on the front, although they feel pretty hard. But I'm sure I could take them apart and rescale it if I wanted to, which makes it, in my opinion, makes it pretty cool. The only thing that I don't like about these is that the clips go on the back side. So when you're drawing the slingshot, the clips would pull toward your face, and that's not good. That's how all of these are that I'm about to show. I'm sure that if they're set in there correctly and they're nice and tight, that you wouldn't have a problem with them. And the clips are all made of metal, so they're probably pretty high quality, but that's still a little bit scary, and that's something that you should take into consideration. But there's a nice wide gap on this, so there's really no chance that you're going to have a whole bunch of fork hits with it anyway. But yeah, it's a little bit narrow for my taste, honestly. I have here an Evo, just to compare. Gap's about the same, but the fork width is not at all. So you're going to be aiming, you know, you're going to be shooting a little high with these if you're used to a bigger frame like this. The next one that I'll show you is actually one that came with four 4 slingshots. So it came in packs of 2. This one, which it looks all metal, and some of it's metal, but most of it's plastic. And then this, which came with blue handle, a yellow handle. That was in the pair, and then this also came as a pair, 2 of exactly the same thing, exactly the same color. Again, these are like pinch grip style. They have nice big thumb screws, which make it really easy to change bands, obviously, but the clips are on the back of the slingshot. They're on the part of the slingshot that faces the shooter. So I don't know how safe that is, but again, I'm assuming that if you're a good shot and you don't get too many fork hits, it won't make that big of a difference. I have tested different bands in here, and I can tell you, whoa, yeah, well, they're loose, so I can tell you that of all the bands that I've tested, I actually haven't had one slip out unless they're not in there tight. So when you tighten them down and they're actually on there tight, they don't slip off at all. I know I just had one slip off, but that was because I didn't tighten them yet. So this is tight now, tight now. They're not going to come out of there. You pull it directly on it. And again, I don't know that the bands would be any better than for anything bigger than a 1/4 inch steel. But yeah, no hand slap, which is good, especially because my whole hand is facing the side. And again, they're not going to come off there. They do come with a few things like this. So they're like little aiming points. I don't know how well you can see that, but that's like a crosshair, and then it's got some other fiber optic pins on there. Some of them came with fiber optic options that aren't installed, so you have to put the whole thing together, cut your own pins, and that kind of sucks. But they are pretty nice. They fit in the hand. Again, I have great big hands, and they fit in my hand great for pinch grip, although I'm not typically a pinch grip shooter. They would not work for brace grip. I guess you still could do it, but it's not comfortable at all. It feels so weird and just wrong, but hey, if that's your bag, who am I to judge? And then one of the ones that the one that I like the most is this one. And again, this came with a pair, 2 that look exactly the same as this. I actually installed the Crosshair without the fiber optic pins. This was one of the ones you had to install yourself. And then it came with these crazy yellow and reddish two-tone bands, which aren't bad at all. These were heavier bands, so I installed a bigger pouch on there so I could actually shoot like, these would be good for like 9.5 steel and probably 8 mil steel. That's a 9.5 in there. You probably could shoot even something a little bit bigger. But yeah, these two-tone bands, they're a little bit heavier on the heavier end. You'd probably get a bunch of hand slap if you shot 1/4 inch with this, or if you shot like the clay ammos that it came with. But this one I like the most because it's the widest fork gap. You can see like the fork gap on each of these. This one's a little bit wider, maybe like a centimeter. But I like a little bit wider fork gap, again, compared to the Evo. Still not quite there, but it's much better than the other ones. And this actually comes with 2 thumb screws on each fork. So you do get a lot more security as far as the bands slipping out of there, which, again, bands are not going to come out of there. And, yeah, I mean, the clips are still on the back, though. And I don't know who's manufacturing these, but y'all got to change that, because that is not safe at all. You can still put the thumb screws in the front. Just put the clips on the front. I don't know why that's so challenging for these people. You do get a little lanyard hole in there. I don't typically use lanyards except for on my figure eights. This is super, super ergo to fit in there. I mean, you can see it's like a gun handle the way that it's tapered back. And then it's also got a little bit of a wideness taper at the bottom this way. And again, pinch grip, super nice. It's very comfortable in the hand. Basically fills in all the little gaps in your hand. And then with the crosshairs on there, you get a pretty decent aiming point. You do gotta change up your anchor and change up your anchor a little bit when you're shooting forks that are more narrow than what you would typically shoot. That's just going to be the case no matter what you're shooting with. So, yeah, I think that all in all, I would give all of these, as far as quality goes, about a 6 or 7. So not super high. And a level 10 would definitely be the Steel Evo. This is a 10 level quality. Pure and simple, level 10. It's heavy, it's steel. This is never going to break. You are never going to have to worry about this thing. If it's in your pocket, whatever. If you put this in your pocket, you're going to have to worry about the other things that are in your pocket. So compared to that, the quality level on these is maybe a 6. They're all really just made of plastic, with a few metal parts. Typically, the back piece of the clip is metal. The thumb screws are metal. All the little things are metal. Comes with like Allen keys and all that stuff that you need to. But for the money, I think these are totally worth it. If you're an experienced shooter and you're looking to add something kind of silly like that to your collection, buy them. They're so cheap, it's well worth it. If you're an inexperienced shooter, I also think that these are great because you'll learn pinch grip. You'll be able to adjust your sight, for experimenting when you're learning how to shoot. The thumb screws and the clip in make band tying very easy. And I think that if you are somewhere in between an experienced shooter and an inexperienced shooter, if you're an intermediate, that these are also very nice because you can buy these for super cheap on Amazon. You'll get a pair, and then you'll be able to give one to a friend and have them shoot with you. And that way they won't be trying to shoot your super expensive frames or your naturals that you worked hard to make. And believe me, I know all about that because I don't like letting inexperienced shooters shoot my slingshots simply because they will fork hit them, and that pisses me off. So, yeah, I would say that these are good, not great, but they're very, very worth the price. Again, guys, I'm sorry I haven't been getting a whole bunch of super high-quality videos out. I'm going to put this one out. I know that it's kind of cheating a little bit. But, I want to put stuff out there. And doing, right now I'm just super busy doing some other stuff. Like I said, I think before, I'm doing a remodel on the bathroom upstairs, and it's just taking up all my time right now. Between that and going to work, I want to make sure that I'm still out there and putting stuff out. So, anyway, I hope this satisfies. But, yeah, go out, get you some. They're cheap, they're fun. Anyway, thanks again for watching. I love you all. I'll see you next time.